Hello, everyone. This is Cold Brew and the Crew podcast, episode 2, with your hosts, Travis Marley, Lucas Lucky, better known as Sack, Nick Cortez, Brett Whitaker, and yours truly, Logan Taylor. Skull.
Oh, God.
So today we're going to go over the Super Bowl, what happened this past weekend. On our first topic is the Super Bowl rank. So, fellas, we'll start with you, Travis and Lucas. Where do you rank the Super Bowl?
Very boring. Probably one of the worst Super Bowls I've ever seen, but I did like the defensive battle. Made things interesting. So I'm just glad it wasn't a blowout the whole game like the Giants-Ravens Super Bowl, but
I kind of agree. It was pretty boring to watch. It's like pulling teeth really hard. So, I mean, I can't elaborate much on what Travis said. He pretty much nailed it.
I think you left it. I was disappointed because you kept waiting the whole game for the Rams offense to get moving, and it just never clicked. And then the Patriots, even you're still waiting. You're thinking they're gonna slam the door and just start steamrolling them, and they couldn't get their offense going either. And so, yeah, just a little boring.
Gotcha. Cortez.
Yeah, I thought both defenses were played phenomenal. I wasn't expecting New England's defense to perform that well with Goff and Gurley. I don't know if Gurley was 100% or not, but either way, it was kind of boring, but it was a slugfest until the very end.
Gotcha. Brett.
Yeah, this is by far one of the most boring Super Bowls I've ever seen. Honestly, I can't remember a Super Bowl that was this boring. The Patriots did everything they could to, basically shut down that high-powered offense, and they did. And I don't know, the Gurley situation, from what Gurley's saying, he was fine, he's healthy. If that's the case, Gurley has a lot to be concerned about because if you're the number one back in the league and you're getting benched by C.J. Anderson, I mean, there's more concern that we need to know about because are you kidding me? You're the best back in the league, best fantasy back in the league, and you're benched by C.J. Anderson.
Well,
how many touches did Gurley get? That's what I was.
He was 11.
He got 10 carries for 35 yards.
10. Oh my gosh, 10. I didn't know he had that little. Did he catch any passes?
No, he didn't catch any passes.
Man, he's a liar. He's a liar.
At
10 carries for 35 yards, and they only had 62 rushing yards total.
Yeah, they had 62 yards on 18 attempts.
Jeez.
That's like 1.75 yards a carry, So their run game, I mean, it might be a boring Super Bowl, but I mean, to elaborate on what you said, Nick, I think the defensive scheme, both ways was dynamic.
But
to Bill, because I mean, the Rams' bread and butter was Gurley runs the tables, that sets up the play action. Goff hooks up with Cooks or Wood, and that's where the Rams' offense accelerates, and they couldn't get the ground game going, and it showed because they were not biting. The Patriots were not biting on the play actions, and so it was like Goff was either getting sacked or he was just barely getting the ball off.
Yeah.
But I got something to say. But honestly, that game was so set up for the Rams to win. I mean, come on, the Patriots was probably the worst offensive performance I've ever seen.
Yep.
I mean, it really was. I mean, the Patriots couldn't do nothing. I mean, Tom Brady will slice and dice up any offense any defense any day of the week, and the Patriots look so flat. I mean, the Rams everything was there for the Rams to win. Everything.
Yeah. So as Super Bowl ranking, I'm kind of mixed in between. I know it was just a defensive battle, and everybody's been used to the season high offensive scoring. But I really did enjoy watching the old school defensive schemes, and it just brings back to the old saying, defense wins championships. And as you can see, both of them were pretty good last night. And it's just that one can't overcame the other, and it just proved that Belichick is the best coach, maybe the best coach of all time. With him and Brady, he outcoached McVay. So that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't even know if you outcoached McVay. I just feel like the Rams just went in there with a piss poor game plan. I mean, the Patriots. I want to know. I wish I would have done the stats on how many times the Patriots seriously rushed Goff. There was no screens out of the Rams. Their bread and butter to Gurley, nothing. I mean, it was just a piss poor game plan. I've never seen anything like it out of the Rams.
Gotcha.
Well, one thing you gotta appreciate about Bill, though, I don't have off the top of my head what the average number of carries for the Patriots usually are, but I mean they had Sony Michel had 18 carries, 94 yards. Burkhead had 7 carries for 43, and I mean Brady didn't really have to pass all that much. I mean he did. Don't get me wrong, he threw for 141 yards to Edelman, and then had hooked up with Gronk for 87, but the Patriots controlled the ground when they were clicking, and I think that was the difference maker. Patriots got the ball moving. Now, given a lot of it was the last drive, they had a couple of 26-yard breakthroughs there at the end, but the Patriots got the ball moving on the ground, and the Rams didn't.
Gotcha. So, ranking. Let's do it again. Travis, Sack, what do you call it?
There's
Like ranking out of 10 or ranking out of all Super Bowls?
there are 52
Just is it one of your worst, or is it in the middle of the pack? What do you got?
We got 52 Super Bowls. Is it 51?
53.
53.
All right, I'll put it at 52 and give 53 to the Ravens Giants.
You've only been able to watch 28 of it out of the 50.
Watch 28.
Hey,
Cortez,
NFL film.
Yeah.
what do you think?
I mean, just as far, I'll give it ranking out of 10. I mean, I'll say it's about a 4 out of 10. It was kind of a letdown because the offenses were supposed to be high-powering, high-scoring, supposed to be a high-scoring game. You know what I mean? I mean, hell, the over the game was 56.5. They scored 6 points.
Yep.
So, I mean, I give it a 4, but the upside of that 4 is that it was a really good defensive battle. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I liked the defense in the game, but the offense was pretty sluggish.
Cortez.
I would give it a 3 out of 10. They could have done better with Breeze and the Saints versus the Patriots, but
For shit, Cortez.
but I think it was kind of boring. It wasn't. It was in the middle of the pack of Super Bowls when it comes to me, in my opinion. Just another Patriots win.
Brett, out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, I give it a 4. It was just boring, just no offense. You expected fireworks, you didn't get it. Defense, don't get me wrong, it was a defensive game. It was fun if you're a defensive fan, which I am. But man, when it's the Super Bowl, you want to see some scoring, you want to see some touchdowns out there. But
At least some big plays.
Yeah, I give it a 4 out of 10. The only other Super Bowl I remember being this boring was which for some reason that game was still fun to watch, but the game that comes to mind is the Broncos Seattle game.
Oh
Yeah.
Well,
One thing I take, although that drives me crazy. All right, listen to this. Brady completed 21 out of 35 passes for 262 yards, 1 interception, 1 fumble. Jared Goff, 19 for 38, 229 yards passing, 1 interception. And the only thing I've heard is how bad Goff is. But you look at and then on the other corner you got Brady. Everyone said he's the GOAT, but you look at the stats and they're pretty identical. And no one's saying how bad Brady looked that game. But
I'm glad you're saying that, Travis, because our next topic is QB play and comparison. So let's kick it off with you.
Well,
Continue.
I know what you're thinking. That's why I won a lot of Madden games against you. That's neither here nor there. But I think both quarterbacks played pretty identical. But you got to look at the weapons. Yes, Goff had a lot of weapons, but he didn't have Cooper Kupp. Gurley's playing with the bum knee. They're playing with their backup running back as their main back right now, C.J. Anderson, who's been on the team, maybe a month and a half?
He's been on there a whole year.
Huh?
He's been on there the whole year.
The whole season.
Yeah. No, I thought he was on the –
He's been bounced around from 3 different teams.
Yeah, 19th of December. That's not the whole year, Brett.
How many?
The 19th of December is when CJ signed.
It was like week 14 or 15 he signed with him.
He's been on there the whole year.
Cortez, look it up. I'm fucking.
I know when he got picked up. I thought about picking him up in fantasy.
And then Gurley was playing with the bum knee. Goff just didn't have the weapons that he needed, and you had those 2 drops in the end zone that didn't help his case, and the line wasn't blocking. I mean, like I said, he was either getting sacked or he was just barely getting the ball out. And then you had Brady, who had the ground game working for him. And yeah, don't get me wrong, he hooked up with Edelman for 10 catches for 41 yards.
Yep.
But without Edelman, man, they would have been really screwed. And so I don't know. I think both quarterbacks played about the same, and Brady's getting yelled by, and Goff, everyone's saying, let's cut him, forget about him, he's a bum, he didn't deserve to be in the Super Bowl. And he finished in the top 10 too this year.
Yeah.
I'd like to look at his stats compared to all the quarterbacks that made the playoffs and see where Goff ranks. I bet Goff's up there. But anyways, that's my 2 cents on it.
Zach?
Well, I mean, going based off what Travis said, I mean, both quarterbacks, were both below the season average on completion percentage, yards per game. They were below average on the rating in all those categories. And then, I thought the big deal was QB pressure. I think the Patriots were able to get to Goff a lot more than what the Rams were able to get to Brady. So, I mean, it tells in the stat line, too. I mean, Brady was only sacked once, but Goff was sacked 4 times. So, I mean, I feel like the run game also has a big play in that. I mean, the Patriots ran for 154 yards on 32 carries, damn near 5 yards a carry, and the Rams were able to do anything close to that. So, and also another key stat on that, I mean, this is all, in my opinion, in quarterback play, was third down conversions.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'd say, I mean, the Pats were 3 for 12, and the Rams were 3 of 13. So, I mean, they're pretty identical. You know what I mean? Neither team, and that goes back to it being a defensive battle, neither team was really able to move the chains. So
I think someone that should have been a consideration for the MVP was the Rams punter. He had over 400 yards. I mean,
dude, I'll give you this. If the Rams would have won like 6-3, probably.
I think Lucas and I were watching. I think one of the kicks he had was 65 yards, which I think is the NFL record, right?
No, it's the most in the Super Bowl. It's not the NFL record.
Record for the Super Bowl.
Yep.
That's what I meant.
Cortez, your take. Quarterback play.
Patriots with Brady was a lackluster performance. I don't know if it was age showing or if it was the actual Rams defense also just performing just good enough to hold them to those 13 points. They with Goff struggling under pressure. I think just being the spotlight in this game, not having a healthy Gurley, it just didn't work well. The pressure, like Lucas said, the pressure between those 2 guys, it just didn't work out for Goff, and he was unable to find those outlets with hardly any time to throw the ball.
Gotcha. Brett?
Wasn't very mobile either, in my opinion. Goff throughout the season, I felt like was able to get out of the pocket, make a couple more passes, you know what I mean? But Patriots just had it all schemed up all over it. Belichick's just the mastermind.
Mm-hmm. Brett?
Yeah. With these guys, I mean, I really can't say much more. Brady, I don't know whether or not it was just like Nick said, it was age starting to catch up. I don't see it, but the Rams defense definitely looked like they had a great game plan for Brady. I mean, the flip side is Goff, man. I don't know. I mean, they just looked like they were so lost on offense. Goff had no idea who to throw to. He didn't have his check down guy, which was Gurley. I mean, the whole game plan for the Rams was, off from the get go. I don't know. I mean, the only reason why I think Brady was able to do what he did was because of Edelman. Take away Edelman, I think the game could be seriously 3-0, 3-3, 6-3. The game was just pretty pathetic from both sides of the quarterbacks.
Where was Robert Woods at?
Dude, he had
He had 5 for 70.
he had
so,
five,
I mean,
five
he was
catches,
there,
70
but...
yards, but I think it was pops in the end zone, wasn't it?
My thing is, how's come the Rams never went to the bag of tricks? I mean, they're so piss poor on offense all game. Why not try something different?
And you think McVay would be smart enough to try to dial something up. You know what I mean? I thought in the fourth quarter, like a double pass or a reverse or something was coming. But, I mean, they never tried.
What I heard today was that McDaniel, after the halftime and start of the third quarter, they realized that nothing was working or what they planned out to do in the Super Bowl. So they scrapped everything and they put a fullback in there, 2 tight ends, and that's when they scored that touchdown. That was the drive that they scored on touchdown. But every other drive was either punt or that one drive that ended on downs, or it was a field goal or a missed field goal. So I think it was a good choice by him to go to a different, just to scrap it all and just go to something they haven't practiced over in 2 months. And then also going back to the quarterback play, yeah, I think they played Goff and Brady played pretty similar, but when it came down to it in the fourth quarter, you can never bet against Brady. That is why he's the GOAT. He went and did what he had to do, and Goff threw up that interception and choked under pressure. And that's what age shows. He'll be back, don't worry, but Brady is why he's the GOAT.
The play before, Goff should have had a touchdown. He dropped it. It was a beautiful ball. Beautiful ball. Second play, after that, yeah, he tried to force it, threw off the back foot. Big no-no. That's what threw the pick. But
Let me ask you guys something. I mean, yeah, McVay took a team to the Super Bowl, but is this McVay's team or is it still freaking Jeff Fisher's team?
I think the Rams made a lot of moves the last 2 years.
Yeah, I agree with Travis.
I don't know. There's a lot of Jeff Fisher draft picks there.
For sure, I agree. I would say it's kind of a mix of both. I mean,
I don't even know one McVay top player that's playing right now.
I mean, McVay got the job when, like January 16 after Fisher got fired, right?
Well, one of the key players that the Rams are missing, Cooper Kupp, he's a McVay guy.
Yeah, I'll give you Cup.
But they did go out and make a bunch of offseason moves. They went and signed a bunch of guys, man.
They got Fowler.
Oh, yeah.
And they
Brew, Talib.
Yeah.
Their strength and conditioning coach. He was
All right.
during this season.
All right, next up on our topic here, we got defensive play. I'll start it off this time. On Pats, they made the Rams punt 9 times. They had an interception in the fourth quarter that helped seal the win. They had 50 tackles, 4 sacks, 7 tackles for loss, and they also had 12 QB hits, so Goff was really under pressure. And as you could tell by the score, they couldn't get anything going. I mean, they punted 9 times. And then on the Rams side defense, they made the Pats punt 5 times. They had 1 turnover on downs. They had 1 interception. They had 70 tackles, 1 sack, 2 tackles for loss, and only 4 QB hits. So as you can see there, that they had this whole built-up defense. Yeah, they did pretty good, but at the same time, when you had the likes of Fowler, Littleton, Aaron Donald, Talib, I mean, you get the likes of those names, you figure that they would produce more than what they did. I mean, don't get me wrong, they played very good, but I think they would pressure Brady a lot more than what actually happened.
I was disappointed in the Rams' defensive line.
Yeah.
I think they got a great defensive line, and I didn't see them at all. And
they got Nick. They got Sue too. I mean, they picked up him, and you got him and Aaron Donald on the same team. Like, how can you not get more than 2 tackles for a loss and 1 sack? I mean, come on, man.
You're playing for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You're playing for the Super Bowl, and it's the final drive. You're trying to shut him down, and you're letting the Patriots gain 26 yards of carry right up the gut.
Well, let's just start off and say that Dominic Sue really hasn't been that dominant this year, anyways. He really hasn't.
He's still been a big body. I mean, he's hard to. You have to double team him.
He's a big body dude, but he's not the Nebraska Dominic Sue like we know.
Yeah,
and when you double team Aaron Donald all game, I mean, he ain't going to be able to do anything.
He did take down Brady once, though. Pretty good.
The fumble.
The fumble one, there was another one right after the catch. He threw him down, or right after a throw.
Yes, I remember seeing that. That was awesome.
But that was like the only time I ever seen Brady actually get any pressure.
I think we need to talk about how good Stephon Gilmore really is as a corner.
I mean, he was all pro. What else is there to say?
Dude, he was by far the best. He was the best free agent pickup.
He came from what? The Bills. Bills leftovers, right?
Yeah.
And the thing was, we didn't hear anything about him in the first half of the season, and all of a sudden, he's coming out of nowhere and being an all-pro quarterback.
I picked him up in fantasy, FYI.
How'd that turn out?
I mean, I still lost, but I had
football podcast, fellas. All right.
Soon, it'll come here soon, that's for sure. So, moving on, we got Brady and Belichick legacy. Travis.
Well, I mean, what's there to be said? I mean, they got 6 championships, then the 9th Super Bowl. That's something we'll never see from any of our teams. But I think Brady is a great quarterback. You know, he's got heart. He's got decent arm. He's a good leader. But I still think the Patriots would not have been as successful without Bill Belichick. I think that dude can win with anybody. I mean, every year we think the Patriots, they just ain't got enough talent. This is like this year. This is the worst their defense have ever looked. And you know what? They held the Rams to 3 points in the Super Bowl. I mean, when you think they're going to be bad, that's when they're good. And when you think they're going to be unbeatable, that's when the Giants upset in the Super Bowl. I mean, it's just – anyways, Belichick, I think – I'd like to see how he does as a coach once Brady leaves. Because I'm convinced that he's still going to win.
Zach?
Just to elaborate more on that there, that's probably the best quarterback coach combo we've ever seen. I mean, there was Montana and Walsh, and that was pretty much the same thing, but in the 80s, you know what I mean? But this is more amped up. I mean, look at the Super Bowls that they lost, right? Yeah. So 8 or whatever, when they played the Giants the first time, they're one big catch away, you know what I mean, from going, it's number 7. Same thing when they play the Giants the second time. It's another big catch, another big play in the fourth quarter, you know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure they still had about 45 seconds to go down to a field goal or a touchdown to tie it, And in the Eagles game, they were right there till the end too. So, we could be talking
9.
If things go a little different, they could be 9-0. You know what I mean? So that's just some crazy. That's crazy to think about that they could be 9-0 or 7-2.
Yeah.
They're 6-3, and that's even better than anybody's ever considered. So,
and the year Brady got hurt, they still won 11-5. He was out the whole season, torn ACL, and
who was that quarterback?
And they still go 11-5.
Castle.
You think they're going to be bad? What's that?
I said, who was that quarterback?
Matt Castle, wasn't it?
Matt Castle. Yeah.
They don't say Matt Castle and then say, wasn't it?
Well,
Nick, legacies.
Yeah, they're gonna go down as one of the top duos for coach and QB. They just built a great chemistry to plug in. So I mean, it's tough to beat those guys, and with how smart Belichick is and what he's been able to accomplish within the last 2 decades of continued success, it's great. Look, watching this, but I mean, it sucks for most fans just repeating this over and over almost every year, saying the Patriots won. But it's definitely something to be proud of if you're a Patriots fan.
Yeah, but also, you've been texting and saying that there's always going to be an asterisk by his name. Why is that?
Asterisk, man. So many Spygates and all this. I mean, you just there's always going to be an asterisk next to a couple of those championships.
There's always going to be 6 championships next to his name, as far as now.
Yeah. Hey, if Reggie Bush can get his Heisman Trophy taken away, maybe Tom Brady can get 3 of his trophies taken away, his rings.
They haven't done it yet. They've already punished him. They didn't take away his ring.
Smash that cell phone again.
Brett?
Yeah, I mean it's by far some of the greatest greatest things we've ever seen. This is probably one of the greatest dynasties we'll ever see being alive. Unless you were alive in the 70s when John Wooden was just killing people with UCLA, or when Phil Jackson was just dominating people coaching. I mean, at this point, Bill Belichick, all he's got to do is catch. I think Wooden's got 11. Phil Jackson's got, I think, 10. I mean, heck, he could be right there with 9. A lot of people think he could only be there with 3. With the Seattle, all they have to do is run the ball in. They win. How do you lose a 26-point lead? Falcons, come on. I mean, things could be reversed real easy, but, I mean, it is what it is. 6-3, 9 Super Bowls. A lot of people think they're going to go back next year, go for a 10th. I mean, I don't want to say they are, but it's definitely doable. But it's seriously some of the greatest things I've ever seen. I mean, he's by far the best player I've ever seen in my whole life. And football is all I know. I mean, he literally is the best player I've ever seen in my life, bar none.
You thought C.J. Anderson was on the team the whole season for the Rams.
Dude, telling you.
Hey,
Anderson was
just
on
so you know, Brett, he was released by the Panthers November 12th and then picked up by the Rams December 18th.
Yeah, I knew he was on some team all year.
I didn't say he was a free agent all season.
Hey, I knew he was signed somewhere. Honestly, if I wouldn't have known that, I'd have been like, I guess Denver. Denver probably still had him.
No.
He falling back of the depth charts.
Dude, is it me, or did he look like he put on 50 pounds?
He looked like Mike Tolbert.
Hey, he reminded me of Tyrone Wheatley back in the day.
Tyrone Wheatley.
Wheatley was a tight end.
Hey, Lucas, who was that big ass running back the Raiders used to have back in the day?
Back when? What are you talking?
It was probably early 2000s.
Charlie Gardner was early 2000s, I think.
No, who was that big ass Wheatley guy the Raiders had?
I mean, he played tight end though, tight end or fullback.
I thought he was a running back.
He carries a game.
No, he was a running back.
Charlie Gardner was the Raiders running back in the early 2000s.
Shit, I'm gonna have to look him up after this. There was a big ass running back the Raiders had.
I mean, Marcel Reese plays fullback, but he's a big dude now. But
I'll have to look it up.
Dude, I'm telling you, Tyrone Wheatley is a tight end.
All right, well, fellas, I think that wraps up episode 2 of the Cold Brew and the Crew podcast. You guys got anything left to say?
Boy,
Travis, Sack?
Have a good weekend, boys. I'll see you guys next week, and drink on.
Drink on. Sack?
BTFU.
Oh, my.
Big Ten. First in the Big Ten.
That's going to be edited out for sure.
please.
I'm not gonna lie.
Nick.
Nice win for Ricky Fowler. So I'm hoping to watch some more golf now with football over with. And,
Golf.
Yeah.
all right, stay warm out there.
Oh, Brett, what do you got?
Hey, keep drinking those brews and go Tar Heels.
Go Tar Heels. All right, fellas. Well, this is Cold Brew and the crew. See you guys later.
See you
Have
guys.
a good one.
Oh.